Hi, you're watching Anyverse English. Before diving into the story, let me give you a brief introduction. In this world, everyone has the chance to ascend to godhood. Individuals are categorized based on their divine power, ranging from divine creatures and demigods to true gods, chief gods, and god kings. At the age of 18, upon reaching adulthood, everyone awakens to the divine realm and joins a core clan. These clans vary in levels, and individuals with exceptional talents often join clans with greater potential, eventually ascending to higher ranks of divinity. Manhwa, having awakened to the divine realm but receiving only the lowest residue of the Locust clan, faces the daunting challenge of altering his destiny against the will of heaven. Kid, do you think your life is too long? Dare to talk to me like this? I've never missed what Zhongbin wants. If you don't hand over your divine power, believe it or not, I will destroy your divine domain core. This threat came from Zhongbin, a powerful school bully with 5,000 core members of the dwarf army. Manhwa retorted, "No divine power? If you have one, it depends on whether you dare to take it. This vegetable chicken is me, Manhwa, to be precise. I am now a core member of the clan, the residue of the waste locusts. And why do I dare to challenge the school bully like this? This has to start from a day ago. That's right, I have traversed across realms into this divine realm where everyone can become a god. Just, the owner of this body is a miserable scumbag, a pitiful creature who awakens to the divine realm at the age of 18 but only receives the core clan of locusts. Child, your parents are lost in the chaos of the Imperial College. They must still be alive. If you have the opportunity in the future, you must go and find them back. Manhwa, if you are willing to be my slave and provide sufficient locusts as food for my Thunderbird every day, I can guarantee that you will graduate from high school. Think about it yourself. Manhwa, bring me 100 divine powers on Monday for school. If you dare not bring it, I will lead my dwarven army to invade your divine realm, kill all your core clan, destroy your core, ruin your future, and ensure you never have a bright future. How can we break this game in hell difficulty at the beginning? With the help of the Locust clan, I will never be able to enter the top university, Imperial College, in my life, let alone go find my missing parents. But the top priority is to pass the yellow-haired slaughter. Stretching my neck to be slaughtered is not my style. Everyone has come. Not trying to struggle and resist is disrespectful to time travel. Connecting to the divine domain. Login successful. Loading. 100%. This is my core clan, a group of leisurely grasshoppers. The system displayed his profile. Name, Manhwa. Level, divine creature, divided into divine creatures, half-gods, true gods, main gods, divine kings. Divine talent, selected son of heaven, only. Divine abilities, accelerated growth, sacrifice of life, unique divinity, 1 point. Divine power, 0 points. Power of faith, 200,000. Core level, level 1, not added, core family members, locusts. Number of dependents, 800,000 adults, 160 million insect eggs. Manhwa remarked, according to past life memories, it seems that there are only 2 options, the chosen son and the sacrifice of life. Is it difficult to see if it's a delivery? With that thought, he commanded, explain the entry. The system displayed an explanation, son of heavenly selection, the one chosen by heaven to bring good luck. For each level raised, an additional ability with unique attributes is obtained. Life sacrifice can sacrifice biological life in exchange for products of equal value. The exchange products are randomly generated during the sacrificial process and can be used once a day. Upon hearing that, Manhwa pondered, the chosen son of heaven, this should be the golden finger that I have traveled through and carried. As for the sacrifice of life, it is an additional ability that I acquired with unique attributes during the divine biological stage. With these incredible golden fingers, I may work hard to fulfill my grandfather's last wish. But the premise is to get through the blackmail of the school bully tomorrow. But my bugs. Her family members, locusts. Family level, ordinary creature extraordinary, hero, Lord's note. Family talent, reproduction. Belief level, mad believer, praying mantis. All commands from the gods, divided into general categories, devout believers, fanatics, saints. Power of faith, 1/100. Reproductive capacity, 300 times. Life cycle, 90 days, egg stage, 15 days, adult stage, 45 days, aging stage, 19 days. Then he thought about the reproductive ability, life cycle, growth acceleration, and sacrifice of life. 1 day in reality is equivalent to 1 year in the divine realm. After thinking for a while, he realized, I understand. Let's take a big gamble then. If you win, turn over and become the master, but if you lose, you will completely become a waste. The next day at school, a girl approached Hanwu and said, Hanwu, have you thought about becoming my slave to Qin Shuang? I guarantee that no one will dare to bully you until you graduate from high school. Hanwu instantly denied without a second thought, I refuse. Qin Shuang replied, What? Do you know what you're talking about? Without my protection, you would be squeezed to death by that group of people. Hanwu said with a smile, Perhaps the situation is really as you said, but I still choose to refuse. I, Hanwu, although I have no power or influence, have my own dignity. I understand your willingness to protect me. If there is nothing else, please go back. Qin Shuang turned and replied, Hanwu, you will regret it. As she departed, he sighed in relief. Unfortunately, at that moment, Zhang Bin arrived from behind and asked with a sinister smile, Hanwu, have you brought the 100 divine powers you prepared? One of his companions urged, Hand it over quickly, don't force us to take action. Another one added, Hand it over, otherwise, we will shatter the core of your divine realm and leave you with no future. As Zhang Bin extended his hand to Hanwu's shoulder, he replied, Don't pressure me. Zhang Bin asked with cold eyes, Do you dare to talk to me like this? If you don't hand over your divine power, believe it or not, I will destroy your divine domain core. Hanwu paused for a moment and then said, Let's give it a try. Zhang Bin observed him and thought, Why is this kid so tough today? Is it difficult to rely on him? Then he looked at Qin Shuang and thought, It doesn't seem like Qin Shuang. In the next moment, other students chanted, Fight one game, we haven't seen what a broken core looks like yet. Another one said, The Locust clan is simply lowering the average strength level of our class. Quickly get rid of him and make him drop out of school. It is said that Zhang Bin's dwarf army can squeeze into the top 60 of the school, and I really want to see it. Upon hearing that, Zhang Bin surged a card in his hand and said, Hanwu, since you're looking for death, don't blame me for not giving you a chance. Dealing with garbage like you, 10 points of divine power can be considered to look up to you. Intrusion card, worth 10 points of divine power. After locking the target, a spatial teleportation gate will be generated within the target divine domain, thereby achieving invasion between divine domains. With that card, a void emerged around Hanwu, and he fell into that void. He swiftly stepped in and witnessed a huge door in front of him. What is this? As the door opened, numerous dwarves emerged from it. Zhang Bin shouted, In the name of the god of dwarves, I command you, my army of dwarves, to destroy those fragile locusts and destroy the core of this divine realm. The dwarves chanted with a roar. The whole scene was being observed by the other students. Zhang Bin's army of dwarves has added at least 1,000 more, and this strength can already squeeze into the top 50 of the grade. Another one said, Top 50? What nonsense. Didn't you see that each dwarf in the dwarven army is equipped with an iron weapon? This strength, at least in the top 30 of the grade. Look, in the dwarven army, there is an elite creature at the forefront. Surprisingly, an elite life form has already been born, and Hanwu is definitely finished this time. Qin Shuang was also among them, watching everything. Humph. As the fight started, Hanwu released numerous flies and commanded, Exploding locusts, attack. The onlookers wondered, Look, what are those red flying insects? Exploding locusts. Elite life form. Isn't Hanwu's core clan an ordinary locust? How could there be a self-exploding locust with elite life forms, and there are still so many? The person beside him interrupted, What about elite life forms? Even if locusts become elite life forms, their combat power cannot match that of ordinary dwarfs. Garbage is garbage, no matter how much it is useless. Those locusts rushed towards the dwarves and then exploded in an instant. Hanwu was smiling because, 1 day ago, let's take a big gamble then. Retain 10 million adults to maintain racial continuity. The remaining 2.49 billion locusts were all sacrificed. As the sacrifice was completed, the system prompted. Option 1. 10,000 goblin warriors, elite life forms. Option 2. Eye of Life, capable of continuously surging and emerging from the spring of life to nourish life and improve the surrounding environment. Option 3. Level 1 Artifact. Burst Heart. Loaded into the core of the divine domain. There is a certain chance of giving birth to contain explosions, the core clan of splitting. Option 1's 10,000 Goblin Warriors can certainly solve the current crisis. But it's only a disposable item, it's all used up. How should we deal with this crisis next time? Option 2. Life Spring Eye, which belongs to long-term investment and is also a current necessity for Hanwoo. But I can't handle tomorrow's bullying. Choose Option 3. As for Option 3, it belongs to investment in the core family and has a sustainable impact on the core family. At the moment, we can only choose this one. As he opted for the third one, a crystal appeared in front of him. In the next moment, he crushed that crystal, and then a locust emerged from it. Family name: Self-Exposed Locust. Family level: Elite Creature. Family talent: From Exposure. Belief level: Mad Believer. Locusts have no wisdom. Obey all commands of the gods. Power of Faith: 1/10 day. Reproductive capacity: 30/time. Life cycle: 180 days. With that thought, he charged forward with a locust in his hand and shouted, "Explode yourself." He threw the locust, and it exploded. His mouth curled up, and he thought, such power will definitely not kill an ordinary dwarf. But if we pile up the quantities, maybe it will work. Then let's do it a few more times. As there was smoke all over everywhere, the students wondered, how's the situation with the war? As the smoke disappeared, only one dwarf was remaining from a whole army. Hanwoo was slowly approaching with numerous locusts. As Qin Shuang witnessed that, a bright smile appeared on her face. It's a bit interesting now. As those locusts rushed at the single dwarf, Zhang Bin shouted, the surviving dwarves should quickly return to the divine realm. Hanwoo smiled and asked, do you want to leave now? It's too late. All the clan members passed through the portal and invade Zhang Bin's divine realm in reverse. With that command, all the locusts invaded Zhang Bin's realm and then it exploded. Zhang Bin shouted, quickly command your clan to get out of my divine realm. Slowly all the dwarves inside were exploding. Roar. Then, Zhang Bin accepted his defeat and said, I give up. Withdraw your locusts from my divine realm, and let my clan return. Hanwoo replied, aren't you trying to smash my divine domain core? Since that's the case, it's only natural for me to smash your divine domain core in the opposite direction. Upon hearing that, Zhang Bin got triggered and shouted, how dare you? If you really did it, my parents would never let you go. My dad is a demigod, and my mom is also about to be promoted to demigod. You are definitely not their match. Despite this, Hanwoo commanded, smash his core at all costs. With that directive, the locusts surged toward Zhang Bin's clan. Stop, quickly, Zhang Bin shouted. I admit defeat. I promise I'll never bully you again. If you have any conditions, just let me know, and I'll fulfill them. Please, stop. I don't want anything from you, Hanwoo retorted. I just want you to die. Suddenly, a voice from behind exclaimed, enough, Hanwoo. Stop, for my sake. Approaching from behind, a figure intervened. Hanwoo, you've already won. There's no need to be so ruthless, they urged. Zhang Bin, with a glimmer of hope, appealed, Teacher Lu, stop this madman. My parents will. As the locusts continued to devastate his clan, Zhang Bin trembled. No, Teacher Lu, please save me. Teacher Lu inquired, Hanwoo, did you not hear what I said? Hanwoo countered, Teacher Lu, I have a question. Why are you here? As the class teacher, I naturally sense everything that occurs in the class, Teacher Lu replied. Hanwoo pressed further. All right, then let me ask you. When I was being beaten by Zhang Bin, extorted, and bullied, where were you? Why didn't you intervene? Teacher Lu pondered. Do you have demigod parents? Why should I offend the Zhang family by helping you? Then he replied, you stop first. I will explain this matter to you. Hanwoo said, I'll ask one last question. If today it were me whose divine realm core was attacked, would you have stepped in to stop it? As Teacher Lu couldn't say anything more, Hanwoo continued, don't bother. I already know the answer. As Zhang Bin's clan was destroyed, he screamed in pain. Ah, my divine realm. Hanwoo urged, Teacher Lu, please protect my divine realm. Suddenly, the screen turned off, and they were transmitted back to the original world. Behind them, Zhang Bin shouted, it's gone, it's all gone. I'm a cripple now. A few minutes later, Teacher Lu entered the classroom and shouted, Hanwoo, get out of here. As he couldn't spot him, he asked, "Where is Han Wu?" The student at the front desk replied, He went home, I guess." Teacher Liu gritted his teeth. A student like him should be expelled. Expelled. Meanwhile, inside Han Wu's divine realm, he commanded, "Report the battle situation." The system displayed, self-destructive locusts, 18,090. Ordinary locusts, 4,050,643. Upon seeing that, one who exclaimed, "It seems that I have to cultivate more self-destructive locusts in the future. The divine realm fragments of Zhang Bin that I got this time can be fused into my divine realm." He commanded the crystal to fuse. The system prompted, "Divine realm area, 260 square kilometers, plus 160. Fertile plain, 100 square kilometers. Mine, 20 square kilometers. Forest, 40 square kilometers. Desert, 60 square kilometers. Ordinary mountain range, 40 square kilometers." Obtained, Divine City Core Level 2. Level 1 Holy Artifact, Dwarf's Hammer. Dwarf, 820. Iron equipment, several pieces. One who expressed, "The harvest is not bad. These things should last me until graduation, but..." As Zhang Bin had shouted earlier, "How dare you shatter my divine realm core? My demigod parents will not let you go." Han Wu thought, this matter is not over yet. If Zhang Bin's parents come to seek revenge, it all depends on Lu Lishan's attitude. The school will not protect me, so it seems that I have to grow stronger. Then he decided to sell the iron dwarf hammer, thinking, let's see if anyone wants to exchange good items with me. He waited, surprised by someone approaching so quickly. Then the system notified, the other party requests to exchange items, lava fire crystal X1. Agree or reject? Han Wu looked at it and pondered, I remember that lava fire crystals can enhance the fire element resistance of my familiar and increase the explosive power. Then he agreed, thinking with it, my self-destructive locusts can evolve again. With that confirmation, the lava crystal appeared. With the crystal, he obtained a few more locusts. Familiar name, Bursting Locusts. Familiar level, Elite Creature. Familiar talent, Lava Explosion. Faith level, Fanatic. Faith power, 1/5 days. Reproduction ability, 20/times. Lifespan, 250 days. He picked one of them to test. As he threw it, it caused a huge explosion. He remarked, the destructive power of bursting locusts is almost equal to a grenade. The lava splash effect produced by the bursting locust in the explosion will cause a large area of damage. Do I have a bunch of highly explosive grenades now? Later, in the dean's office. My son's divine realm core is shattered now, and there is no possibility of reshaping it. Shouldn't the school give me an explanation? Mr. Zhang burst into anger. The dean replied, as far as we know, this invasion battle was caused by your son Zhang Bin. And Zhang Bin has many records of violating the rules by bullying his classmates. What? Do you mean my son's divine realm core shattering is entirely his own fault? Does the school bear no responsibility at all? You teachers take no responsibility? Zhang Bin's mom added. The student who shattered my son's divine realm core must also be punished. He must be expelled. Meanwhile, in Han Wu's divine realm, just use growth acceleration to regenerate some bursting locusts. Han Wu commanded. As he was saying this, a call intervened from Director Su. Upon seeing that, his expression changed. What had to come has come. Director Su said, Han Wu, I am Director Su. There is something I need to tell you. Zhang Bin's parents came to the school and demanded that you be punished. In the end, Zhang Bin's mother interrupted and shouted, this kind of person must be expelled. Director Su replied, we have investigated the whole matter. It was Zhang Bin who initiated the invasion of Han Wu's divine realm. Han Wu relied on his own strength in this confrontation and did not cheat. We have no reason to expel him. Zhang Bin's mother said, oh really? You are actually covering up for a bad student who shattered the divine realm core of his classmate. Is this the educational principle of your school? Director Su replied, Mrs. Du, please do not distort the facts. Han Wu has always been a good student who follows the rules. We have a lot of evidence to prove that your son Zhang Bin has bullied him multiple times. Zhang Bin's mother shouted, don't talk nonsense with me. I just ask you if you will expel him or not. Director Su replied, sorry, that's not possible. Mr. Zhang said, Director Su, I can accept that the school won't punish Han Wu severely, but as the victim, I must vent my anger. If you refuse to agree to even this small request, then I don't need to consider the school's reputation anymore. Director Su relayed this to Hanwu. In the end, Zhang Bin's father threatened to send out a 1,000-man legion to invade your divine realm. No matter the outcome, they won't pursue it further. This is the maximum protection that the school can provide. But a 1,000-man legion of demigods is enough to match the 50,000 army of ordinary students. Hanwu, can you handle it? Wanhu expressed his gratitude. Thank you for your help, Director Su. I will go to school tomorrow and face this challenge. As the call disappeared, Wanhu pondered, it seems that I have to hurry up and improve. It's time to launch the second life sacrifice. Then he commanded, billions of sacrifices, initiate. With that, thousands of locusts were sacrificed and a huge explosion erupted. A few minutes later, the system prompted. Option 1. Level 1 Holy Artifact, Blood Red Demon Eye. After loading into the Divine Realm Core, there is a certain chance of giving birth to a core familiar with Blood Eyes. Blood Eye can enhance the host's dynamic vision and trigger a primary berserk state after seeing blood. Option 2. Level 1 Skill Crystal, Fireball. After loading into the Divine Realm Core, it can make the core familiar to master the primary Fireball technique. It can also be learned by herd life forms and can be comprehended as the ultimate Fireball technique at most. Option 3. Zhantai Jianfeng, the Jianfeng familiar herd life form. One who observed them and thought, the treasure obtained from exchanging 4.8 billion locusts is not bad at all. This one. Option 3. With that, a figure emerged. Name, Zhantai Jianfeng. Race, Jianfeng familiar. Level, herd. Talent, sword wind. Skills, whirlwind slash, level 1 skill, basic, raging, level 2 skill, basic, storm slash, level 3 skill, iron cutting sword style, level 5 self-created skill, cannot be evaluated for comprehension level. Faith level, Pan believer. Faith power, 500,000/day. Lifespan, 800 years, current age of 150 years. Zhan Taifeng said, "Oh God, I need a sword." One who nodded, "No problem. These past few days, I cultivated a lot of locusts. After my faith power reaches 100 million, it will condense into 1 point of divine power. Plus, the remaining divine power from selling the land. I have a total of 54 points of divine power." Then he looked at multiple options: trading network, ordinary equipment, faith equipment, divine power equipment, and divinity equipment. He opted for the last one, divinity equipment. Equipment is divided into 4 levels. 1. Ordinary equipment, made purely from materials, with no energy infused. 2. Faith equipment, masterpieces made with rare materials and infused with faith power, often with special effects. 3. Divine power equipment, large amounts of divine power crystals are blended in during the forging process. They often have a soul and can self-evolve. 4. Divinity equipment, the equipment that only gods can control, representing the authority and power of gods. Zhan Taifeng grabbed the sword and said, "This is the weapon I bestow upon you, the Storm Greatsword." As he swung the sword to check it, he said, "Oh God, I need 3 more of the same weapon to unleash my strongest power." Hanwu wondered, "You need 3 more Storm Greatswords? That's easy to say, but that's 150 points of divine power. Do you think divine power is carried by the wind? It's about tomorrow's battle with Zhang Gang's 1,000-man legion of demigods. I can't be careless. But I can only try my best." On the other hand, in Qin Shuang's divine realm, she was sitting cross-legged under the tree in deep cultivation when suddenly, a thought came to her mind of drowning in water. In her imagination, Hanwu saved her and then kissed her. Her cultivation was interrupted by that thought. Hanwu is so annoying. He deserves to be squeezed to death. My grandfather is a true god, and there are 23 demigod relatives in my family. Do you think you can't be protected? Suddenly, at that moment, she got a call from Hanwu. She accepted the call and asked, "Have you changed your mind and agreed to be my slave?" Hanwu replied, "No, I just wanted to borrow some divine power from you." Qin Shuang questioned, "You want to borrow divine power from me? Then let me ask you, what will you give in return? Use your trashy familiar? Don't think that just because you defeated Zhang Bin in the invasion battle you're something special. Your bursting locust barely made it into the elite life form category. they're not of much value. Hanwu ended the call instantly, saying, "Well then, excuse me for the disturbance." Qin Shuang suddenly realized and grabbed her head. "What am I doing? Why did those mocking words just slip out of my mouth? That's not what I meant. I hope he doesn't misunderstand. He definitely will, though." With that thought, she instantly called back. Hanwu accepted. "Hey, what's up?" Qin Shuang asked, "How much do you need? Give me your account number." A few minutes later, as Zhang Taifeng received multiple swords, he wielded them with all his 4 hands. Upon witnessing that, Hanwu was amazed. "Zhang Tai Jianfeng, I've put everything on the line for this. You better make it worth it." The next day, in the classroom. As Hanwu reached the class, everyone wondered, he actually dares to come back. Isn't he afraid that his divine realm will be trampled by the demigod's 1,000-man legion? Is he getting carried away? I want to see if he can remain so calm when his divine realm core is breached. Hanwu heard their whispers and pondered. Looks like everyone knows. They're waiting to see me make a fool of myself. At that moment, Qin Shuang arrived and said, "You borrowed divine power from me to improve yourself and compete with the demigod? I advise you not to waste your effort. Even if a demigod only sends out 1,000-man legion, it's not something you can handle right now." Hanwu replied, "I have no other choice." Qin Shuang said, "You do. As long as you become my slave, I will contact my family to pressure Zhang Gang. His family only has 1 demigod, while my family has a true god and 23 demigods. He wouldn't dare disobey." Hanwu replied, "I appreciate the kind offer, but you can go back now. I need to prepare for the demigod's 1,000-man legion." Their conversation was observed by an unknown student, and he gritted his teeth. "Hanwu, why should you be treated differently by Qin Shuang? You useless piece of garbage. You trash. You'll die today." A few minutes later, Teacher Lu showed the way to Zhang Bin's parents. "Please, this way." That's Hanwu. Upon seeing him, Zhang Bin's mom shouted, "You little bastard, you destroyed my son's divine realm core. I'll tear you apart." Mr. Zhang tried to calm her down. "Don't break the school's rules." Then, Teacher Lu shouted, "Hanwu, come here right now. Don't waste Mr. Zhang's time." Hanwu replied, "I want to wait for Director Sume to be a witness." Teacher Lu shouted, "This little matter of yours is not worthy of Director Su's witness. My witnessing is already giving you enough face. Start now, otherwise don't blame me for being impolite to you." Suddenly, Director Sume arrived and asked, "Who are you being impolite to, Mr. Lu?" Teacher Lu replied, "Director Su, this little matter isn't worth troubling you over. I'm just disciplining one of my students." Director Sume said, "Mr. Lu, don't forget, you are a teacher of the school, not a dog of some demigod. Understand?" Mr. Zhang declared, "Since Director Su is here, let's begin." Director Sume asked, "Hanwu, are you ready?" Hanwu nodded, "Yes." Mr. Zhang took out the divine card. Invasion card, initiate. With that, Hanwu was transmitted into the divine realm. In front of him, there were multiple scary wolves. As other students observed that, they were shocked. All elite life form wolf cavalry, led by a wolf cavalry captain who has comprehended power beyond the ordinary. Wolf cavalry, a combination of green orcs and dire wolves, and they're also wearing a full set of high-quality equipment. Hanwu is finished. Mr. Zhang shouted, "You little bastard, you shattered my son's divine realm core yesterday. Today I'll make you pay with blood." Qin Shuang was also surprised and pondered. The wolf cavalry can clearly be counted as 2 combat units. They said they sent 1,000-man legion, but this is clearly. Then she said, "This is clearly 2,000 combat units. This is cheating." Mr. Zhang commanded, "Wolf cavalry, charge." In retaliation, Hanwu also released numerous locusts. As other students observed, they wondered, wow, there are 7 million elite life forms of locusts. Weren't there only 20,000 left yesterday? How can he cultivate 7 million elite life forms of locusts in just one day? Their reproductive power is truly terrifying. Another one said, even if they were the trashiest elite life forms, they would still be a huge force when piled up. Unfortunately, this student didn't have enough time to grow, and now he won't be able to withstand the charge of the wolf cavalry. Millions of exploding locusts were sacrificed for nothing, and just a few wolf riders were slightly injured. Teacher Lu also said, he is indeed a talented student, but he has encountered a hurdle that he won't be able to overcome. Otherwise, he would have made a name for himself in the school. Suddenly, a student shouted from behind, "Wait, what's that?" On the battlefield, a huge dark cloud appeared above the wolves. Hanwu commanded, "Exploding locusts, attack." With that command, several locusts charged with lightning, and then a huge explosion occurred. Upon witnessing that, everyone was stunned. What the hell is going on? What kind of locusts are those to have this powerful explosion, and they can also sputter magma? One of them wondered, a transcendental life form? Director Sume turned and asked, "Is there any student or teacher who can detect the locusts and tell us the information about them?" One of them looked there with his ability and replied, "I got it. They're the elite life forms of explosive locusts." Upon hearing that, Director Sume smiled and said, "Well done, student Hanwu." Mr. Zhang said, "You think you can destroy my wolf cavalry with just that? Dream on." Then he commanded, "Wolf cavalry, use your supernatural powers." With that command, the cavalry wolves spewed an ice-penetrating aura that suppressed the explosions. As ice covered everything, the onlookers sneered. A demigod is a demigod after all. He won't be defeated with just these little tricks. His elite life forms are indeed powerful. They can unleash such a wide range of skills. Another one said, "There are only 500,000 locusts left of Hanwu's locust swarm, and all of his explosive locusts are depleted. He can't win now." Mr. Zhang charged forward shouting, "I'll show you what desperation is, you little bastard. When your core is gone and your divine realm is shattered, you'll be expelled from the school, and then your life will be at my mercy." Then he commanded, "Go and crush his core." Director Sume lowered her head and said, "It's over." But suddenly, Qin Shuang's attention shifted as someone shouted, "Hey, look! What's that in front of Hanwu's divine realm core?" There, Zhang Taifang appeared with his multiple swords. Students were shocked. "That's a storm sword that sells for 50 divine power." Another one said, 50 divine power. For his 200 divine power. Isn't Hanwu an orphan? How can he be so rich? And what race is this man? Director Sume informed, "That is the Jianfeng clan." The Jianfeng clan are born as extraordinary life forms. A student beside her said, "So what if they're born as supernatural life forms? Didn't the demigod's army have a supernatural life form, the captain of the wolf cavalry? The captain of the wolf cavalry will hold off that Jianfeng for a while, and the rest of the wolf cavalry will crush Hanwu's divine realm core." Upon hearing that, Director Sume thought, "By the looks of it, this Jianfeng doesn't look like an extraordinary life form, but rather a genuine heroic life form." On the ground, Mr. Zhang pondered, "I've been struggling for decades, but I've only managed to produce just one heroic life form. This kid is just a senior high school student. How could he have such a life form?" Then he commanded, "Take him. I must take this heroic life form. Once the core of the divine realm is shattered, the heroic life form of the Jianfeng clan will be mine." As the wolves charged forward, Zhang Taifang's eyes flashed.